Yeah. That time again. Demon Wisp. Sure. Rush is good. Giving Rush to people for cheap is pretty good. Animated Broomstick's probably pretty good. The Magnetized mech that does this for one guy it seems to play, but it's a mech. Magnetize is broken, and mech discounts are broken. But it's a good sign for this. Fire Imp with more work is maybe good? I don't know. You have to like basically combo it to be good, and combo one drop. We had one of those before. It was not good. So. Maybe not good, but you know. Arcane Archer. Arcane Archer? Elven Archer. Not a great card. But you get a bunch of Arcane Archers. Elven Archers. You get a bunch of Archers. Good card. Interesting. Probably not good. This is actually good. This is power creep on the Swordmaster or whatever. It's a pretty powerful ability when it only costs 1, because it actually discounts your hero power like immediately, and you can use it on turn 1. So it's basically just battle cry, do whatever your hero power is. Like a 1 drop. It can be pretty good. It's particularly good for Totem Shaman, because one of the issues with that deck is getting totems to stick early enough to land buffs on them. So maybe good for that. I don't know. Interesting 1 drop. These two look like the best to me. This card's interesting. Compare it to Gnomish Inventor. You lose 1 health, but you gain the Beast Tag, you gain a hero power effect, essentially. And that's a pretty good trade for 1 health on a card draw minion. Plus, you also gain the ability to play a River Crocalist instead. If it's like turn 2 or 3, and that's better for you than drawing a card later. Beast Tag is kind of relevant, too. So. Interesting card is like a mediocre 2-drop, but good enough that it might see fringe play. Like there's Beast support and Hunter and Druid cross things, so maybe somewhere in there. Stealth guys are annoying. 3 attacks enough to trade with stuff in the early game, and you get 2. I actually like all of the twin spell minion things. This is probably the best one because it's the cheapest, and it's a 2-drop that probably guarantees a 2-for-1. So it's very slow, but I mean, it's pretty good for a 2-drop. This guy's okay. Random card generation, narrow pool, which means it's easier to control, but it's still random. It's okay. Twilight Guardian is a good card. This is worse than Twilight Guardian, and I don't know that Twilight Guardian is really up to modern standards. It still sees a tiny amount of play in Wild, but it's like the 30th card in like a dragon-themed Reno decks, you know? So, a more difficult to activate Twilight Guardian might not be good enough, but it's worth trying. You know, they were bound to make this eventually. It's fine. It's like the Kobold that died and came back that Questrid used. That card was bad other than being in Questrid, so this one's probably bad as well, but you can buff it and the buff stays. So I don't know, maybe if you want that. You don't want it. It's pretty good. 4/3 rush for 4 is like pretty reasonable, honestly, and then the upside is that you get to do it again later. This is actually just good value, just like this. It's a little worse because it's more expensive, but I think both of those are pretty good. This seems bad to me, I think. It's a neutral AoE, but it's like a really clunky one. Comes with a body, I don't know. It's like almost a Duskbreaker, right? It's so far from a Duskbreaker. I honestly have no idea. This card might be okay, just because it's a neutral AoE minion. It seems so slow and clunky to me that it's probably done. This is interesting. It's Cave Hydra, but double Cave Hydra. Just scaled up. More stats is good. Cave Hydra's main downside was that it didn't have enough stats. And this is really, really good with the 7 mana spell we'll talk about later. So I think this will actually see play. Pretty good 5-drop. There's no reason to talk about that. It's horrifically bad. This is a Drake that discovers instead of draws, which is good for fatigue games. And discovering spells is good. Also Elemental Tribe. Pretty good card. Probably not good enough to really see play now. This would have been insane back in the day, but now it's like, yeah. Costs 5, so it's for what you're getting, it's not amazing, right? But it's definitely like a good card. It's just, is it good enough? Because the game's fucking insane. 6-drop that does stuff. It's just random generation. It's a lot of stats. So maybe it's a lot of value generation, but it's like slow, clunky value generation. Cards like that do not typically do very well. I don't know about that. This is the worst of the twin spell guys because he's the most expensive. But it's not horrible. Like 5/7 taunt is not bad at all. For 6 mana, that's a pretty good rate. And the ability to play another one later can be great for stabilizing. Plus it's impactful when you play it. Obviously because it has taunt. That's how taunt minions work. So all 3 of these seem playable. This one's like the most questionable one. It probably won't really end up in anything, but it's interesting at least. There's a big payoff for the spell damage decks. If those catch up, then this will work. If they don't, then it won't, obviously. I don't know. 2 6/6s for 6 sounds amazing, but in modern Hearthstone, like how good is it really? How good is anything really? It's just big dumb stats with like an awkward condition to get it. So, you know, whatever. Cool. Yeah, more big dumb stats. Random. Favorite word to see on a new card. Probably bad, right? But it's a big, hard to kill thing. So whatever. Tiny Loatheb. This card's fine. It's fine, but there might be more competition for 2-drops in this set, so I don't know if it actually sees play, but it's fine. It's like if you're playing an aggressive deck and you don't have anything else, and this is fine, but you're probably just playing Voracious Readers. This card's insane. It's like Jeeves. It's Jeeves, but it's one-sided and it costs 2 less. Just sink into the laughter and cry. It's just ridiculously stupid. What are they even doing? This card's also pretty dumb, but for different reasons. I don't think it's actually good, but it's just annoying. It's like, why even print? It's such a non-interactive thing. Like, are we not sick of playing around this with Druid by now? Are we just... Did we not get enough of it then? Now we have to give it to any aggro deck that wants it. Like, they won't want it because it's a 3-mana 2/4. still, why even have the option? Why even make it? This card's bad, you know it's bad, you've already played with it. This card's really cool, it's probably bad, but it's interesting because you get to shuffle a lot of value in your deck. And it's a spider tank, so... I don't know, I really like this card, it's a really cool design. I don't know if it'll actually see me play it, but I like it. This is horrendous, like actually... like one of the worst cards of all time. Like I have no idea what the fuck they were thinking with that. Anyways, Spirit of Sapiens, pretty good. Very powerful effect. Bluekeeper, Polkel, very powerful effect. I have no idea what you do with it, but anytime you can stack your cards, you break the game. You just have to figure out how to stack them in a way that breaks the game. So. Do that and then you win with that. Kel'Thuzad, one of my favorite characters in Hearthstone. Finally get another card. Pretty disappointing new card after all this time. I guess at least it kind of sticks with his theme. I don't really like the art either. It's just a disappointing card all around for me, to be honest with you. But you can do cool stuff with it. It's just like a reasonable value generator, right? You play it. You use a single target removal spell on something, you immediately get the value back, you play them with an AoE, you win the game. Yeah. Here's what it is. Death Rattle payoff? This is actually pretty interesting. I don't know. It's kind of slow for Death Rattle decks. Like, Death Rattle stuff is already slow, and most of the payoff cards are in like the 2 to 4 mana range, so I don't know. It's kind of slow, but it's interesting. This card's cool as well. Also, it's slow but interesting. You're guaranteed more or less one card, right? I guess if their hand's full, you're probably not. But for the most part, like you could just play this with no comboing or anything, you just get a card from their deck, so it's good enough to be put in a Hearthstone deck in the year 2020, but now it costs 1, which is probably a steep discount. But you played a 7 mana 6/8, so does that counterbalance it? I don't know how you combo this, because if you're playing Research Project, you don't want to be doing this, you want to be doing like infinite fireball combos. And if you're playing Cold Light Oracle, you also probably don't want to be doing this. You want to be dumping your hand and milling your opponent or something. So I don't think you combo this. I think if you play this, you're just trying to get the natural draw value. Okay. Demon Hunter, this is their chance to like tone down the class, and they just pushed it even further into stupidity. Yeah, draw an outcast card and it's immediately outcasted, so you can just play it, probably, right? Pretty cool. Targeted silence and efficiently-ish costed rush. It can't, like it has to abide by taunt, obviously, but I mean, it's interesting that they nerf silence into the ground and then give Demon Hunter amazing silence, but okay. I mean, not amazing silence, but relative to the current state of, like compared to Owl, right? The Soul Fragment stuff is all interesting. So this is a Soul Fragment Duskbreaker. That's probably good enough, right? If you're doing the Soul Fragment stuff, you would probably play that. Probably? I don't know. It's weird because the other payoff card, we can just tie mine together, the other payoff card seems very aggressive, right? You're playing a body and you're getting attacked, and we know when Demon Hunter gets attacked, they hit you in the face with it. So this is aggressive and this is controlling. This is expensive, this is cheap. It's just, it doesn't seem like they know what they're doing with the soul fragments. And also, you're playing soul fragments in Demon Hunter. So I don't know about that, but this one is like it's a 3-mana Dustbreaker. That's probably good enough if you want it. Glide is a hand disruption spell. We have 3 hand disruption effects now in the game, and 2 of them were given to Demon Hunter for some reason. I don't know why. I have absolutely no idea why they introduce a broken new mechanic and then give it to their already overpowered class. It's also a Divine Favor that works in the aggro matchup, so, you know, Divine Favor, very powerful card, still see shitloads of play in Wild, defines Paladin in Wild to a large extent still. And the one downside was the aggro matchups. This is no such downside, so that's cool. Yeah, whatever. Mediocre weapon with a. Yeah, if you need fragments, you play it. I still don't know about the fragments in Demon Hunter. This is the other disruption effects. Again, don't even know why Demon Hunter gets this. I don't understand why they get it. It's also straight up card advantage. Like it's a 4-mana 4/3 that removes a card from them basically. Just removes the card in terms of value. So the other one they at least get to draw cards. Hypothetically, but they're probably losing stuff, right? Because you're gonna play it against, like, your priest opponent with 7 cards in their hand. This is always just a value game. I guess you have to outcast it, which is so hard to do, as we've seen. I feel like I'm talking very slowly. Let's just rush through this. This is pretty bad, whatever. But I mean, it's efficiently costed, whatever. It's not interesting. Talked about it. This is an AoE that creates a board for you for some reason, because Demon Hunter cards, even the filler cards, have to be just like better than normal for some reason. I had no idea what that is. This seems actually bad. You can get 3 1/2s with Taunt, I guess, for free. Which is, like, interesting, but it takes so long. That seems bad. This also seems bad, but it's just like the biggest, dumbest minion taken to, like, the next level. Like, even when they do things bad, Demon Hunter gets the best versions of those things. It's just overstatted 9-drop that drains more stats. So fucking tired of this class. Gibberlings. Summon a bunch of Gibberlings. They're bad, but whatever. It's a cool card. Discover a spell. Powerful effect. And it's basically... not basically a 0 mana, but you know what I mean. It's... if you use it right away, it's a... it's kind of like a primordial glyph. It's kind of like a primordial glyph. It's not a glyph, but it's kind of like it. Kind of what I'm trying to get at. Probably a good card. Random beasts are really bad. It's notable that random 3-cost beasts includes cards like Silverback Patriarch, you know, stuff like that. It's not really where you want to be, but it's an interesting design for a card. You just play it on turn 1 and then you can curve out. You're probably curving out with bad stuff. This card's actually nuts. It's a tiger that draws 2 cards for some reason. Sure. Why not? This card, I don't know how to break the game with it, but I don't know why we keep giving Druid way to refill all their mana crystals Because that's never broken entire formats before, right? In this you just buff everything and then you win. Basically just get to 10, play that, and you probably win the game. This is probably bad. If you're playing a Death Rattle deck, you want to put the Death Rattles in the deck. This is a Smite that scales up. Pretty interesting idea. If Beast Hunter's a thing, this will probably season play. It's just like a cool little thing. This is Alley Cat, but it benefits from buffs. So it's basically a power creeped Alley Cat. As long as you care about buffs and not card art. It's pretty cool. Maybe better than the Devilsaur egg. Because it's an egg that's always active. You get a 4/4 instead of a 5/5, but you don't have to activate it. It just is active. You can kind of be, against bad players, that can kind of be a downside though, because sometimes they'll ignore your eggs, and then you can really abuse them. They're less likely to ignore this because you can attack anyways, right? But I think this is just a good card. Spells are poisonous, Spider Tank, pretty cool. There's the Twin Shot missiles, which is obviously good with this. 5-mana combo, kill 3 guys. More random destruction in Hunter. I don't know, it's an interesting card, but it's not super exciting. There's a Dire Maul with spell damage for some reason. This could just be a 1/1 with spell damage. This could probably be a 0/1 with spell damage +1, and it would be see just as much play. But they decided to make it a Dire Maul for literally no reason at all, because that's just what they do in Hearthstone now. Spell damage is as useful as it is cheap, and this is the cheapest, so it is the most useful. Pretty good card. Cram Session, you know, more ways to draw fuckloads of cards. Combustion, I really like this card design. Really cool card. Obviously it's great with spell damage. Even naturally, it's just pretty good. It's a Shadow Bolt, or deal 3 and then 1 and 1, which is like pretty reasonable. Or it's a Power Shot where you deal 2 to all. Or the very coveted 1/3/3. You know? Nobody's gonna play into that, right? But pretty cool design. This is a fixed Flame Waker. Flame Waker's degenerate. I actually really like this change, and they make it a Spider Tank to compensate. So I think this is actually like a really good way to bring Flame Waker back into standard. As like a fair card. I think it's too fair maybe to actually see play, but it like there's no cost of playing Spider Tank, so maybe it just creeps in there anyways. This card seems way too slow and clunky to me. You can get the spell damage really high, but like if you're playing that many spells in a turn as mage, then you're probably already winning the game, and you don't need a 5-drop that gives you spell damage. You know, like you can do better things. So I don't know. The card just, it seems like Azurite Elemental to me, where it's just like, oh, the potential, but like in reality, it's slow. Mana Worms are pretty bad. They're just pretty bad on turn 6, because you have to spell burst this, right? So, pretty bad. Random 1-drops are bad. 0-mana spells in Paladin are good, though, for OTKs and Wild, so it's an interesting card. This is a 2-mana Faceless for some reason. I don't know why they did that, but they made a 2-mana Faceless in Paladin. Nagro Paladin, sure, whatever. This card is pretty cool. If it didn't have the spell burst, this would just be good. Right? Like, compare this to Piloted Shredder, it's just like way better. And then with the spell burst, you have the potential to be pretty insane. Very solid 3-drop. Big buff. Can't go face right away, but I don't know, big buff. Interesting design, don't know if it's good. It's expensive. Expensive buffs historically bad, but it is a lot of stats. A lot of stats, lifesteal's good. Slow card. Mediocre. I'm not gonna say it's bad, I'm gonna say mediocre. Pretty cool, wins like all fights. Right, Rush Guy comes in, takes down anybody. It's like the reverse of the batter head. If you want dragons, put them in your deck. 1 mana, 1/4, power creep. Take your opponent's hand, play their cards, fuck them up. Hand disruption. So glad it finally came to Hearthstone. Cards. Stupid nuts. This is a really cool effect, so it's a trading, value trading buff. Very cool design. Don't know if it's gonna see play, but like tempo buff priest is actually kind of playable already, so maybe it'll be like a casual meme thing. This seems really easy to play around, but it is just a 2/6 taunt. I don't know, it's interesting. In late game, like when you have more mana, it might be easier to set up the steal in the same turn whenever you see it. Like, you just hold it. I don't know, it's an interesting card. I don't think it's great, though. Kill a thing, get it. 4 damage on 6 is very low, though. Refill your hand. Play more stuff. I don't think it works like Evocation, where you, like, get like cards that you wouldn't otherwise have. Like, I think it literally takes the cards out, and then if you play them, they're taken out. Like, you've just played those cards earlier, rather than it making copies for you to play. So it's purely like a hand refill kind of thing, slash quasi mulligan thing, which limits the usefulness, but I mean, it's a potentially powerful effect. This is a 2 mana Murazan, so that's cool. Bad card. Okay. Not bad card, but Rogue has some really nuts 3-drops, so probably too much competition. Why does Rogue have random attacks? Isn't this Hunter's new thing? Like, what is that? Why even... I don't know what this even is. This card seems pretty bad, right? Slow, you probably get a trade. Usually like a 2-for-1, I'd imagine. But I don't know. It's not horrible, I don't know why you would put it in a deck. Stealth, decent stats, value generation. Not horrible. Also, I don't really know why you'd put it in a deck, though. This is pretty good. It's worth pointing out that it works with the coin. So the coin being a spell, again, is stupid for yet another card. Normally it was just stupid for mages, but now it's stupid for shaman, too. You can just get the coin back. So coin something out after this, get the coin back, coin something out again later. Mana cheating shaman. But generally, if you're putting this in your deck, you want to be playing it to do something specific, probably. Pretty good 2-drop. Rune Dagger, pretty good 2-drop. Structure Fireheart, pretty good 3 mana Yogg. Pretty good shoot stuff, make tokens. Pretty slow guy, but you get a lot of stuff, so maybe it's okay in Totem Shaman, but really slow. It's a 5 mana Yeti that has to die, and it's got Overload. AoE plus full heal. Cool. If you want demons, put them in your deck. Discard Payoff and Death Rattle crossover? Weird. Discard Payoffs are cool, though. 2-1s are bad, but discard Payoffs are good. Efficient AoE that heal, not efficient, mediocre AoE, I should say, that heals you for for 4 or 8? They heal you for 2 each, right? So it heals you for 4 eventually, which is, you know, pretty fine. Reasonable card. Spider tank that shoots a guy. Not a very good payoff. 7/7 taunt. Not a very good payoff. So if you're playing the Souls Shards in Warlock, I think you actually don't even play the payoff cards. I think you literally just play them for like the healing, maybe the draw triggers for your quest, stuff like that. This card's not horrible though. More cheating demon stuff, standard. If you want rush cards, put them in your deck. These cards are always bad. They keep making this card and it's always bad. It's better than normal because you know what you're getting. You're getting a certain function and you get multiple iterations of the function. The function being taunt, but, you know. This card's still always bad when they make it. They just keep making it. Really good with Mummy, right? I mean, that's obviously the play. So, play it with Mummy if you do this. Interesting card, probably bad. This is really powerful, probably. A lot of probablys right now. Cleave on weapons is nuts. And it's a weapon, so it's spellburst is easy to set up. Sorry, I was just cramping up there thinking about this Ragnaros. This is a Ragnaros that potentially creates bodies. It only deals 6 damage, but it splits the damage, so it's better against wider boards of like medium minions. Whereas Ragnaros really only shines against small boards of exactly big minions. So really, oh, and also he can attack. So it's really just a power creep Ragnaros, right? And non-legendary. Totally fine card. Hey look, a random 9-drop that never dies ever. It just can't die, ever. Cool, why not? Why not have that be a thing that exists? Not a big deal for Druid, but, big deal for Shaman. I should say, the dual class cards are a really cool concept. I don't know if I like the execution. Maybe we'll talk about it at the end, actually. We'll talk about him at the end. Yeah. Shaman has mana cheat now, which is nuts. The overload literally doesn't matter. When you're playing Lightning Bloom, you're killing your opponent. Probably with a Malygos in play. It's pretty easy to make a giant Rush Wind Fury person here. But you have to combo it, so I don't know how good this is, but it's... If you want to do it, like, it's not hard to make a big one. Healing and taunt on the thing if you have big spells. It's a fine card. For some reason I thought it was a 5-drop. Yeah, it's a 4-drop. A Yeti with taunt. It's just a solid card. It is not amazing. It's just a solid card. This one's pretty cool. Make tokens, or you can overload to use the tokens immediately. That's great in both classes. More RNG. Sweet. More RNG. Sweet. This card is complete garbage, by the way. I'm definitely gonna throw it in my Yogg deck, but it's absolutely garbage. It's just the worst. If you want spell damage minions, put them in your deck. Dreadlord is good. This is a Dreadlord. It scales up, so it's probably good. Frostbolt for 1 in Rogue. Why not? Yeah, discovering mage spells is good. Combo's a little annoying, but it's a 1-drop, so you'll probably see play. Discovering mage spells is generally really good. This card is kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. There's a lot of things that are really ridiculous when they cost 1, and you get all of them. This card is actually kind of ridiculous. This effect used to cost 5 for a single minion. What the fuck is this? This seems bad, I think. It's like a lot of stats, kind of. You get a 2/1 a random 5-drop and then a random 5-drop that actually only has 1 health. And your opponent doesn't know which of those is which for 5 mana. So there's like a lot of stats, but probably bad because most of the stats are totally random, right? You're just getting random 5-drops, you're not discovering them or anything. This is an interesting card. It fills holes in both Warrior and Rogue. Warrior sucks at efficient single target, just kill a guy. So they have the combo to just kill a guy, and Rogue exists. I guess it doesn't fill a hole in Rogue. They're really good at killing a guy. I don't know, it's a fine card. Random stats? Sure, whatever. Probably a bad card, but I don't know. It's just random. Everything's just random. Who knows how to evaluate anything anymore. Draw cards, probably hard to do. There's really easy ways to draw 2 cards these days, so this costing 5 probably means it's bad. Rushy weapon buff guy? Probably fine. Upgrading your weapons is really good. Rush minions are good. He's expensive, but it's like... I mean, it's basically a Captain Greenskin, right? With Rush. So it's... like, it's good. It's obviously good. This card's probably bad, right? It's interesting. Probably bad. This card's good. You know, set the people up to die. It's interesting that it's separate triggers, so you can use each half, like, you can set it up to, like, you set them to 1 to kill them, and then you still have this, like, immediately with something else, and then you still have this in play to deal with, like, their reload, so to speak. And it's an interesting card. 3-drop, pretty cool. Also interesting, really bad weapon, but you play a spell, play like a big spell, you get a big guy. Interesting design, probably bad, but interesting design. There's more recruit warrior / dual paladin stuff. Those decks are bad, but this card's okay, so maybe it's good enough to make them less bad, I don't know. Slow people down, make some trades, fine. Attack debuffs historically have not seen a lot of play, but maybe it's good enough, I don't know. This card seems really good. Copying things is powerful, and giving things Divine Shield is powerful. So, usually if you want to make a 1/1 copy of something, it's because it has a nuts ability, right? So if you make another copy of a nuts ability, and you make it harder to kill both of them, then it's, you know, it's good. So that's probably good. This just seems bad, right? This is like a bad buff payoff card, and buff payoff cards are almost always bad. Except for the 7-drops for some reason. This is fine. Even for 6 mana, this is like... No, it's not good. It's a Sunwalker, right? It's literally a Sunwalker. Literally a Sunwalker. But once you start discounting it, right? If you can consistently get this down to like 3, it's a fine card. It's just like you're playing a buff deck with payoffs that aren't having a buffed minion in play. And again, those have been bad. This card is one of the best cards in the set, I'm just going to say right now. Raise that is bonkers. If you put minions in your deck, those minions are ridiculous because card quality is so high. So if it's good enough to be in your deck, it's ridiculous. So 0 mana, create 2 ridiculous cards. You pay some life, who gives a fuck about that? It's just 0 mana, make 2 broken cards. Card's extremely powerful, possibly the strongest in the set, but there is like Voracious Reader, there's a bunch of stuff that like stacks your deck. I don't know. High power level set, who knows? But it's up there. Targeted destruction on a guy, kind of expensive. It's like a 6-drop basically, so it's not as good as it looks, but it's not horrible. Death Rattle payoff, pretty interesting. Also kind of a zoo payoff, I guess. Dump your 1-drops, your lackeys, stuff like that. Interesting card. More giants, whatever, giants are giants. Copy demons, buff the demons, whatever, it's boring. It's a dire mole that heals you for 4 eventually. It'll probably see play just for that, even if it's not like a soul fragment deck. It's just a dire mole, and it can heal you, so it's playable. It's just a question of if, like, there's so many nuts 1-drops that maybe it doesn't make the cut. You bolt the dude, you get soul fragments, whatever, fine. Have soul fragments, you summon souls, whatever. You clear the board. Expensive payoff for like a niche thing, probably doesn't see play. The demon companions are, I think, 2-1, 1-2, and 2-2 versions of the animal companions. The tokens aren't down here for some reason, so I don't actually know for sure, but I think that's right. That's what I heard. So it's like Animal Companion. It's as broken, but less broken, but it costs 2 less. So whatever. It is what it is. Dream Crescent, you hit the shit. Your shit hits the shit. I don't know, cool design, whatever. I'm tired of talking. All your people just get to trade with impunity, and it's fine. That's fine. This is a totally fine card to give to Demon Hunter. Why not? And this is bad. What the fuck is this? This is like a Spring Paw kind of thing, except instead of rush you get a buff. Pretty cool. This is 2 princes. So there were 3 princes, and 2 of them saw play, and are still seeing fringe, very, very fringe play in Wild, but they're still like good enough cards. It's just that the decks they're in aren't good enough. If that makes sense. And this is both of those princes without the prince downside, which was a huge one, is that you can't use any other cards of their cost. So you get both of those effects for no cost on a 3-drop, and you choose this one you want. It's limited to beasts this time. Oh no! But like, this card's obviously stupid. Teacher's Pet, solid. Might see play in Hunter with this. I don't really see this working in Druid with this, which we're going to talk about next, because you want this to pull the stealth guys that draw cards, and you probably want the cleave guy, right? So the more, like, having these taunt dudes in the pool is just diluting it, but maybe it's good enough even there. But it's a solid card. And you can cheat it out with this, right? This card's pretty nuts. Yeah, Recruit is very powerful. Recruiting more stats, like more cost of cards than you paid mana to do is powerful. That was the worst wording of that ever, right? But you're getting 10 mana for 7, basically, and then you're giving them Rush. And you can control it because it's beasts, right? It's specifically beasts, and it's specifically 5 or less. So you can be like, in Druid, like I was just saying, you can get the stealth draw guys, and you get the cleave guys. So 7 mana, get some cleave guys, or like a cleave and a draw. 2 draw guys. It's just like a sprint in that case. It's a sprint that recruits and puts stats into play. Like, very, 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 very powerful card. It's just a question of how you want to build around it. In Hunter, you don't have the draw guys, so I think you have more options to kind of do a range of beasts. And it conflicts with this, right? This wants you to play a lot of beasts. This wants you to play very few, very specific beasts. So if you want to go the Prince route, then you probably don't want to go with this route. This is more of an aggro thing anyways, right? And this is more of a mid-range finisher. That's pretty much the set. I like the dual class thing. What I was saying is the payoff, like the... I feel like dual class should pull you into the intersection. You should be like, I want to be one of these classes so I can play this card. Like Kazakus with the tri-classes, right? You had Kazakus, made you want to be a Kazakus class. Jades made you want to be a Jade class with Io. And then hand buff existed. So this doesn't really have that. You have Kreen, like you want Kreen in your deck. So I guess that kind of pulls you towards Demon Hunter or Hunter. You want to play this, so this pulls you towards Druid or Hunter. So I guess you're pulled towards Hunter, right? This is also Druid or Hunter. Like these are good examples. The other ones don't have that. You don't have that here. You don't really have it. No, Raise Dead. Raise Dead's a good example. I want to be a priest or a warlock for that. I don't really care about these. I don't really care about these. I don't care about these. I don't care about these. I might care about this, but I kind of don't, right? Don't care about these. And I don't care about these, but I might care about this in exactly Shaman. Not in Druid, so it doesn't really fit the dual class thing again. It's just giving a card to Shaman that they wouldn't normally be able to get. So it's really only like in this intersection and here where I feel like they actually did a good job of doing what they're supposed to do with dual class cards. Obviously you don't want all of these to be like this, but I feel every single row should have one card that is like a Kazakus. Not necessarily in power level, but in I want to build around that level. Most of these are just decent cards. Like, they're not bad cards, but they're decent cards that you just put in a deck because it's available to you. You don't pick a class to play it, basically. So I think they kind of came at this backwards. Hopefully we'll see more dual class stuff and they'll do it better in the future, or hopefully the game will get shut down. Either way, I'm done talking. So hopefully I can break my addiction before the next expansion, and if not, I guess I will see you in an even funkier town 3 months from now. 4 months from now? I don't know when these things happen.